Let me connect with y'all through this message right quick. Know what I'm saying? Will your biggest crush end up in heaven or hell? Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire. And I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. So let's talk about, will your biggest crush end up in heaven or hell? You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna be real with you. Let's be real, bro. We all have people we attracted to, you know what I'm saying? We all have different crushes or whatever you want to call it. We all have those people who are our biggest crush, you know what I'm saying? Even growing up in school, we had people we had a crush on, you know what I'm saying? We had our biggest crush, and then we had our second biggest crush, and then, you know what I'm saying, all the way through when we was younger, all the way through high school, we had our biggest crush, bro. Let's be real. But 9 times out of 10, we ain't in contact with those people no more. You know what I'm saying? We ain't in contact with the girls that we had a crush on in high school. We ain't in contact with them right now. 9 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying, majority of us, we're not in contact with our biggest crushes from high school and all this stuff, man. Like, you get what I'm saying? We're not in contact with them. But the question is, will your biggest crush end up in heaven or hell? Let's be real. Let's be honest, bruh. You don't want to see your biggest crush in hell. You do not want to see your biggest crush in hell, bruh. I'm telling you what I know. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's about God's truth, bruh. It's about God's truth. Will your biggest crush, all your biggest crushes in your life, let it be a celebrity crush, let it be a crush from high school and this and that, let it be a crush from college, whatever time period, right? Will they come into God's kingdom? Will they follow the real black Jesus? Will they come into following the truth? That's the question. And majority of them, they don't, bruh. You gotta understand something. If they was your biggest crush, 9 times out of 10, they were somebody else's biggest crush too. This is how things usually work. Let's say somebody was your biggest crush in high school. They probably was somebody's biggest crush too. You get what I'm saying? Because if somebody's attractive, think of how many people that's their biggest crush too. If somebody is attractive in a classroom, think of how many people is attracted to that person too. Because they have 9 times out of 10, your biggest crush is somebody attractive. 9 times out of 10, your biggest crush is somebody attractive. And it goes into another perspective. The most beautiful people, they never want to come into God's kingdom. And Tiario spoke about that. He already did a message about that. The most beautiful people, it's like they never follow God, bro. It's like they don't want to follow God. You know what I'm saying? Because they allow their beauty to become their curse. So if somebody's your biggest crush, and you know they attractive, 9 times out of 10 they attractive, or they just attractive to you. We all have different preferences. But 9 times out of 10, if somebody's your biggest crush, they probably somebody else's biggest crush too. But will your biggest crush make it to heaven or hell? Now here's where it get crazy. You don't want to see your biggest crush end up in hell. Let's be real now. Because you know what I'm saying, you have a crush on them. Why would you want to see somebody you have a big crush on end up in hell? You get what I'm saying? Oh no, I don't want to see my biggest crush in hell. Oh no. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real now. God is judging your biggest crush on Judgment Day. You didn't come into my kingdom. You didn't follow me. Like, I'm about to cast you in hell. You'll be like, Lord, spare this one. I don't want to see my biggest crush in hell. But hey, bro, we can't, if these people don't want to change, all we can do while we're still alive is just pray for these people, man. That's it. But other than that, bro, on Judgment Day, it's between them and God, bro. All we can do is just try to pray for these people, because 9 times out of 10 we're not even in contact with these people. We can't even, man. Time done passed. We don't know where to find these people. But look though, 9 times out of 10, bro, you pray for them and that's it. And not even just the people you're attracted to. I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying, because people like to find loopholes in what you say. Be like, oh my gosh, only pray for your biggest crush. Don't pray for nobody else. Nah. Pray for people to come into God's kingdom, man. You know what I'm saying? Pray for every chosen person to come into God's kingdom. That's what this stuff is all about. But on this message specifically, I was talking about your biggest crush. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was saying, bro. Because, you know, I do messages about all different types of topics. But make sure you also pray for the people that you wasn't even attracted to, that wasn't even your biggest crush. You get what I'm saying? So they will come into the kingdom of God. So they wouldn't end up in hell. So I just wanted to clarify that, man. I ain't gonna lie, that sunlight is hitting. That's how you know that God be shining down on you, bro, when you speaking the truth. It's like God be shining down on you, bro. I'm telling you. But look though, will your biggest crush, man, end up in will your biggest crush end up in heaven or hell? Hey, bro, only time will tell, bro. I just pray that all these people, man, that I had a crush on, all these girls and all these women that I had a crush on, man, I pray that they will come into God's kingdom. And even the ones that I didn't have a crush on, even the ones, everyone, man, like, I just pray for all the chosen people out there to come into God's kingdom, man, because I really don't want to see these people burn in hell, man. I don't want to see souls burn in hell. Whether I had a crush on them or not, or like, it don't even matter, bro, because this is what this stuff is all about. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say right there, man. Will your biggest crush end up in heaven or hell? Why does that sound like a movie title or something? Will your biggest crush end up in heaven or hell? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? But look though, on a serious note though, I'm telling you, will your biggest crush end up in heaven or hell? Only time will tell. But let's be real. Majority of them, they gonna end up in hell. Majority of them, they gonna end up in hell. Because that's just how people are. We don't know why people reject God. We don't know why people don't want to follow God. We don't know. But I just pray that people will really put their emotions to the side and really follow God, man, and really step into God's calling for their life and endure to the end. But hey, bruh, that's all we can do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. Shout out to all the people out there who support my website, man. You know what I'm saying? Peace.